What's up guys, Boss here, and as you can see, I'm number 1 in the world with the Archer Queen, which is so strong right now. If you guys remember my last video, I was playing ladder and I was only top 100 or something like that, but look at that. Since then, I went on, let's start it from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's right. I won 13 games in a row, and then after that I had some losses, but then I won 6 in a row after that, which brought me to first place. The Archer Queen is so broken, and I decided I would show you guys the games that got me there, and I would, explain my thought process and maybe provide you guys with some tips, because the Archer Queen is brand new, so of course not everyone knows how to play it very well. Even I haven't mastered it yet, even though I do know some tricks with the ability, like the correct times to activate it and stuff along those lines. Before we get into it, if you guys would like to support me, use my credit code BOSS in any Super Soul game. Really do appreciate all the support from you guys. It does mean a lot. So let's go ahead and get into the first game, which is actually a mirror match against Mugi, who is one of the best players in the whole game. He actually has 2 #1 finishes, and I'm proud to say I have never lost a mirror match yet. So you could say what you want, that I'm a queen, abuser. Yes, I'm using a broken card that not everyone has access to, maxed out on ladder. But with that being said, I've played 6 mirror matches so far, RG Queen versus RG Queen, and I've won every single one. So that means I have to at least be doing something right, and that is skillful, winning a mirror match and not losing it even once. So at least I have that under my belt, even though, I am using a really broken card. But anyway, let's just speed it up times 2 here until we get in some action. We're just waiting a little bit. And then here he goes in for an RG, which I thought was really, really interesting and extremely aggressive. So here I just go for my Fisherman and Queen, and I activate the ability immediately to help DPS down that RG and the Fisherman. The amount of DPS it does is insane. I think it does over 3,000 at max level when you activate that ability, so that's enough to pretty much take out a Valkyrie and also deal damage on the tower. I think it even does more than 3,000. It's like 3,800 or something like that. So look at that. The Queen not only helped me defend, it's also going to take half of his tower. It's really important to activate the ability more than once. I like doing it 2 or 3 times if I'm able to, because if you play it far back and activate it immediately, by the time it crosses the bridge, you'll be able to activate it again, which is why it gets so much value, and it's insane. Look at this fireball here. Insanely good value, hitting the Fisherman, the Ghost, and the Queen. And on top of that, I get 1 hit with the RG, increasing my lead. So a good log here to take out the Fisherman, and then I go for Skeletons just because I was scared he was going to activate the ability. I don't know if he was back to it yet, so it's better to be safe than sorry. And then here I just mirror his RG in the back, and then I go for a Queen soon because I'm going to need it for defense, and then I can of course use it to counter push. You have to abuse the Queen in this matchup because Fireball log does not kill it. So here I just Fireball his Mother Witch, and you guys know it's very weird. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the Queen, it's inconsistent when you get it back in cycle. Sometimes you only need to play 1 or 2 cards when the Queen dies, but other times you have to cycle 3 or 4. Let me know in the comments if you guys have noticed that too. I think it's the same for every hero, so I think that's a glitch I would like them to fix, because they really should make that consistent. I think it should always be 1 or 2 cards, or it should always be, I think it should always be 4 cards, because when it's 1 or 2, it's kind of broken. So they should make that consistent, so that way it's always the same for everyone, because right now it's random. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, then I don't know. I'll try to, well, you guys will see for yourself eventually. Let's just put it that way. When you guys use the champions, you'll see what I mean. But anyway, here we get a good Mother Witch value, and this RG is what gets us the win here. So a very nice win here in this mirror match against one of the best players in the game, and it wasn't that close either. I had 2,500 health on my tower. I can't tell you guys exactly what I did well that game, significantly better than him, but what I will tell you, I think I definitely got more value out of my Queens, and I overall did a good job of playing better defense. I think he gave me some really good value fireballs too. He maybe should have done a better job of spacing his units out, because remember at the beginning when I was able to hit that fisherman, I think it was the queen and that ghost, so it was a lot of value that I got. So here I'm against Electro Giant, which I think is an interesting matchup. I don't even know if it's a good matchup because the lightning is so good against the queen. It's actually the best counter to it because it kills it. Yeah, it's a -1 trade, but chances are you can also hit the tower, maybe a fisherman that's next to it, or a ghost. So it's not as easy as you would think. But you know what's key in this match is going for archer queens at the bridge, because sometimes they have to lightning that, and that's a negative trade. So here he goes for an E-Giant, very, very aggressive, one of the first plays of the game. I guess he was doing it because he thinks the reflection damage is going to help him deal with the queen. Here I activate the queen's ability, and it's not going to do too much damage to the E-Giant because you saw the E-Giant was actually stunning it, which prevented it from rapid firing as fast. But luckily that Ewiz was not the best and we're able to take that out. And then I keep up the pressure here with a ghost, knowing that he did not have a good counter to it in cycle. He has to waste his cage because his Dark Prince was out of hand. And here I have a bit of a elixir lead, so what I decided to do is just go for a queen right now. I didn't go for RG at the bridge because you see that he's got a Inferno Drag, which of course would be, you know, a direct counter to it. So you can see this is how annoying it is. He has to just lightning the queen, which is a -1 trade after I already played it to get value on the brawler. So I mean, even though that queen didn't do any damage on his tower, it got, I would say, 2 or 3 elixir value. I mean, it killed the brawler that was coming down the map, and then he had to waste 1 elixir. So, I mean, even when it's not locking on towers, it's still getting easily its elixir worth pretty much every time. He doesn't have his cage in cycle here, so he's forced to instead defend with the tornado. I get a good fireball, which is going to reset the Inferno Drag and also DPS down that Dark Prince, so we get it into a pig. And just like that, we have a pretty solid lead here. I mean, we've already done over 1,000 damage to his tower in single elixir. And now at this point, I don't need to be overly aggressive because the damage has already been dealt. And luckily we got the Archer Queen, which is going to make our defense a lot easier than it would be if I otherwise had a, you know, a Mega Minion or a, you know, the Hunter. I mean, whatever other support card you have is nowhere near as good on defense as the Mother Witch is. I mean, there's nothing else. Like, I mean, look at that. It completely destroyed the Ewiz. Like, it just died instantly, pretty much. So here he actually gets a, you know, decent lightning, but I still had that fisherman down, so he couldn't do anything. Later on, you see things got a little bit too close. I mean, not too close, but I thought for a second he had a chance, and I was getting a little worried. But here we'll just speed it up a little bit here because it's the same thing for the most part. He defends pretty easily. But I want to get to the... I'm speeding it up, going to go to the last part, because right here nothing significant really happens. I think we'll just go ahead and do 2 times until we get into triple elixir, and then we'll go back to regular speed. Some of these games are pretty long, so I'll just speed it up for the purpose of that. But you see, I just go for a queen here. He goes for the cage again, so same thing's happening. Although this time we get something to happen. We get some solid damage, and he has to overcommit on that queen. So you see, just every single time, the defense is so stressful for him because of that queen. I mean, he has to waste a whole Ewiz sometimes, a Dark Prince, you know, whatever. But this was really good on his end. He actually did that cage to try to predict my fisherman. But look at what he did. He lightninged, and it managed to hit the fisherman too. I think he predicted it because the lightning struck it before the fisherman, I think, even, you know, completely spawned. So that was a really good lightning on his end, and it almost gave him a chance. But still, with that lead we had early on, it was definitely not enough. And then, yeah, this wins us the game here because I just fireball, and then I just have to cycle back to 1 more, and that's going to be GG. So, good win there in a matchup that I don't think is too easy. I definitely think it's winnable for the Electro Giant player. And then here we got a game against Sergio Ramos, who is also abusing the maxed out Archer Queen. You guys can see he has it in his starting hand. He's going to do the Hog Scream. I do it as well. We played each other, you know, a few times on ladder now already. Honestly, everyone I played against in this video, all these replays here, I've probably played against all of them at least once on ladder. Pretty much when you're in the top 100, often there's a lot of familiar faces, let's put it that way. Also, I forgot if I said this in the first game, but if you guys are enjoying this video or are not already subscribed, please subscribe for more of my content. And again, I really do appreciate all the support I got in my last video. I Don't know how well this video is going to do, but if this video, you know, does extremely well too, or even does better, then I appreciate all the support from you guys. This new champion update is really hype. I can tell it's so good for content too. Not only is it exciting, you know, for me, but clearly it's exciting for you guys to see the new champions in action, which is why I was really excited to get this video out when I got number 1. And you guys can see I'm in a pretty good mood right now, even though I'm recording this video at almost 1 a.m. right now. So I have a lot of energy, as you can see. I'm hyped up. So he's going to go for the queen on defense, and this is funny here. Look, he activates the ability, but it goes to waste because my ghost is invisible. That was kind of awkward. So yeah, that was very weird. I just go for a log here to finish off the queen. Maybe he didn't need it because he couldn't have gotten back to his ability anyway. Remember, when someone uses their ability, I could be wrong here, but when the queen, it takes 11 seconds for her ability to reset. Remember that number. If you're someone who likes keeping track of things, 11 seconds is what you need to wait for the queen. Sometimes it feels faster than that because of how broken it is, but it's 11 seconds, so just remember that. Here, I have to overcommit a bit with that fisherman on the bar barrel, and neither one of us has dealt much damage yet. That was a very interesting Ram Rider in my opinion. I don't know why he did that because it's not really... It, in my opinion, went to waste, and it allowed me to get a massive counter push here, even to the point where I'm RG, because like I said, he pretty much wasted that Ram Rider. Like, yeah, I got a charge on the tower, but I mean, that allowed me to build that RG push. I get 2 shots from the RG, and this defense is relatively easy, even though I didn't even play the defense perfectly. Like, you can see here, the Mother Witch and the Fisherman are right next to each other. I probably should have spaced them out, so that way the Mega Knight couldn't splash both of them at once. That's definitely something I would have done differently if I were to play this match over again, but luckily it didn't affect us very much because both of them stayed alive, and we even got some pigs out of it for the counter push. So here I'm just cycling my Ghost. I'm not going to go for another RG here because I think it would be too aggressive since he has the Inferno Drag down, so instead I cycle my Queen same lane as the Inferno Drag and get ready for defense. And then here, I think I just cycle my Fisherman, and then I go for the Mother Witch, just trying to space everything out so he can't get a really solid Fireball off, because that would be annoying. So here I go for the Mother Witch, and you see everything spaced out, so it's going to be a while before he's able to Fireball. I think here he goes for the Fireball, but he doesn't hit something. I forget what it is. Yeah, he missed the Fisherman and the Ghost, so he didn't get very much value out of that Fireball, and this is the counter push that, there you go, wins me the game. And this is why I like having Mother Witch in the deck. I still think Mother Witch is broken. I mean, you can see the defensive potential it has is really good. I mean, do not underrate the Mother Witch. I mean, I know the Queen is the main, you know, main factor in a lot of these games, but you got to give the Mother Witch some credit too, doing a really good job on the counter pushes and defense. And here we go, good old Pompeo. So these next couple games here against Pompeo and Viper are just going to show you the power of the Queen and what happens if you're using a deck that doesn't have it. Especially a deck that's kind of weak like Pompeos and Vipers when they're literally the only players in the game who use them. So I felt kind of bad after these 2 games. I couldn't even celebrate that much. But when I win a game against someone else that has a Max Archer Queen, I feel happy. I feel like I outplayed them, right? But when someone else isn't using the Archer Queen, you know, I'm happy to get the win, but I don't really feel like I outplayed them. Unless, of course, they still counter anyway, like maybe they have some lightning deck, but otherwise, well, you'll see. Let's put it that way. So here I go for my Queen, and this is funny, right? We both just go all aggressive here. He goes for the balloon. Instead of defending, right, I just go all out on offense because he did the same, so there's no way he's going to be able to defend. I mean, I have the Queen, which the ability I got, which literally does like 3,000 damage for 1 elixir, as I already mentioned at the beginning of the video, so he can't defend this. I mean, you see, he's not even dropping his Inferno Drag right away. There, he finally goes with it. So look at this. I activate the Queen's ability. It takes out the tower. It takes out the Inferno Drag, and it's still alive at full health. I go for a Fisherman to tank for everything. Yeah, that's cute and all that the balloon's getting some damage on my King Tower, but he fireballs, and then look at the Queen. Gonna deal some damage to the King Tower. It's still alive, by the way. He zaps it. I'm up elixir. And can I remind you guys that that was only 1 Archer Queen? I only played 1 Queen. And it took his whole tower, killed an Inferno Drag, and took half of his King Tower. So, yeah, that just happened. Yeah. Yep. That was, yep, this is Clash Royale right now, guys, pretty much. So, here I just go for the queen again, and I'm not going to pretend like this is skillful. I'm not going to lie to you guys and be like, oh, this is the OP strategy here. You know, I'm just spamming, activating the ability, and yeah, you know. Yeah, I mean, obviously I gotta watch out for the balloon, right? But he can't even go for one because I'm just gonna RG to punish if he does, and I'm even gonna do it anyway because I have the Fireball to reset the Inferno Drag because he doesn't have his Cajun cycle. So Fireball comes in, and that's a good game. I mean, Pompeo is such a nice guy. There's literally, you know, he's losing to a broken card, and he even says good game. I mean, he's the definition of like being nice and good sportsmanship. Like, he always does that. He says good game no matter what he loses to, and I almost never see him BM. It's very, very rare that he BMs. He only BMs if the opponent BM'd him first, and then he'll, like, BM back, but he's overall such a nice person. Viper, okay, so this is another game I felt bad about, but, you know, this is just to show you guys the power of the queen. I mean, this is what the video is about. I mean, I got first abusing it, so, you know, gotta show you guys, you know, how good it is. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, though. I mean, and you saw the last game, too. So here I just start with a Mother Witch. I already know what he's using, so I knew it was a safe play. I mean, everyone knows Viper's using Hog X NATO, so I don't really need to save my Mother Witch for anything. And then I just RG at the bridge. It's a good play against Viper, even though it's aggressive and looks stupid. As I said, everyone knows Viper is the god of Hog X NATO, and he's using this deck, because it's the only deck that he plays on ladder, so it's not a risky play. Any other match, I would not do that. I would not go Mother Witch in the back, RG at the bridge first play. So here I get an easy king activation. Sometimes what Viper likes doing is tornadoing the Fisherman into the opposite lane, and he can prevent a king activation, but he didn't have his tornado in cycle, and I knew that, so it was obviously safe to just get that king activated there. Look at what I do here. This is completely broken. I force a Valkyrie out of him in the left lane, and this is what you can do. This is why the queen is broken. You can do so many different things with it. Like, look at what I do. He has to defend both lanes. Both of these pushes will take his tower, right? The problem is he only has 6 elixir, right? Like, so what does he do? He has to go for the Valkyrie on the left lane, but then look at the right lane. He can't defend all that with goblins. He plays them anyway because he has to. And then look at this. I activate the queen's ability. It killed the Valkyrie and then got 2 hits on the tower. I mean, are you kidding me? If that's not, that's insane. That's just insane. And with that elixir deficit, and look at his cycle, he doesn't have Valk, he doesn't have goblins in cycle. So what do? I go RG at the bridge in the opposite lane. He has to tornado here. He's at 3 elixir. I mean, his cycle is complete trash. He doesn't have the goblins. I'm hovering my log, waiting for him to cycle to them, and then I'm just going to log them right away, right? So I have my log ready, and he didn't even drop the goblins, I guess because he knew I had my log in hand. And look at what I do. To top it all off, look at what I do. By the way, guys, I found this out 2 days ago that this was broken, so maybe I should trademark this strategy. Not really. I mean, I'm sure maybe someone else did it before me. But you know what I found out? And I found this out yesterday or like 2 days ago. Archer Queen in the pocket with the ability is the most broken thing ever. Look at this. He goes for a Valk, right? Yeah, well, I mean, really? Like, that's insane. I mean, and after that, he just gives up. I mean, I don't blame him. You know, I will say, though, RG without the queen does counter his deck anyway, so there's a good chance I would have won regardless, but I still feel really bad. I mean, alright, this last one here is the game that officially got me to #1 in the world. I mean, you guys can see this is actually my last game in my battle log. This is against Pandora, right? So someone using the queen. So I made sure to show you guys a lot of people who are using the queen too, to show you that, you know, I can actually outplay some people. I don't just beat only people who don't have the queen. In fact, there's a lot of people in the top 100 who have the queen right now. And like I said at the beginning, I'm undefeated in the RG queen mirror matches so far. And I probably beat other people who use the queen like 80% of the time. So that at least makes me happy and feel like I at least still know how to play this game, and I don't just, you know, I'm not at least just bullying people every single game. That at least makes me feel happy. But anyway, here he's using a bridge spam deck. Very, very interesting. You see he's got the Skarmy, he's got the Ramrider and the Lumberjack. He has Skarmy in, I guess, maybe for the Ice Golem, and then he's got Queen in for the Magic Archer. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So very interesting deck. I don't really think the Skarmy synergizes that well in it. I don't exactly know why he has it. Maybe it's to bait out a log or something. Oh, he also doesn't have the Inferno Drag, so I guess you could say Queen instead of the Inferno Drag or the Magic Archer. Either or, I guess, and then same with the Skarmy. So here he goes for the Fireball. We get a Pig, so I actually go for an RG here because I'm up, 1 Elixir. We have the Pig down, and he doesn't have a Lumberjack in cycle. So I just go ahead and RG. He goes for the Barbarrel and the Skarmy. I go for a log here, a little late, obviously I didn't know he had the Skarmy, so I couldn't play it, instantly or go for, a prediction, but still, we got that log down rather quickly, I would say, considering the situation, since I didn't know he had it. Skeletons here can fully counter the Bandit, really, really easy to do, to be honest. You just probably have to practice that for, a couple minutes in a friendly battle, and you'll get the hang of it. So, here, I think we just both go for our Queen in the back. Maybe he goes, in the other lane, but we both played it in the back, I remember that. So he goes in for I think a little bit of an opposite lane push here, but it's quite easy for me to defend. The Fisherman is honestly a solid counter against the Queen if you know how to, time it right, because it's a good tank, and it'll also pull it when the Archer Queen isn't invisible. So I definitely like using it as one of my main counters to it in this deck if I don't have my own Queen available for defense. So here, he barely got any damage on my towers, and I've already took half of his right tower. That Bandit at the bridge wasn't the best play because I had a Ghost in rotation. I activate the Queen's ability here so it doesn't completely die to that Ghost, and I can use it on the counter push, which is going to force a response out of him. Here I just go for a Mother Witch. He gets a solid Fireball. Maybe not the best play on my end, playing those two things right next to each other, the Fisherman and that Mother Witch, but at least I still defended easily, and we have a significant lead regardless, so we're still fine. I just go for my RG here because I have a Fisherman down, so I know that if he played a Lumberjack, it would pull it. Instead, though, he goes for the defensive Ramrider. I decide to Fireball the Queen, and even with him activating the ability, that RG got so much damage, and with that, we increase our lead, and I only need pretty much one more RG shot, and then I can just spell his tower, because Fireball and Log does a lot of damage now. I think it does almost 400, and the RG, I think, does 400 damage, so that's why I'm saying one more shot. So I'm being, a little patient, though. I don't want to RG, immediately at the bridge and just give him a huge counter push. I'm waiting for my right opportunity. So here, Queen, because he doesn't have that Fireball in rotation, and then I just go Skeletons to distract the Bandit. And then I think this is where I go for my RG like I set up for it, because I have the Queen down. Here I activate the ability, I think, so it doesn't die. You have to always make sure to activate the ability. Don't forget that. Remember, that's so important. A lot of people forget to activate the ability when they use the Queen, and I just think to myself, I feel bad for them. I'm like, what are you doing? That's something I never forget, and I learned that immediately. Every time you're playing that Queen, I don't care what the situation is, you're activating the ability, because, that's stupid if you don't. I mean, don't get distracted by the other cards and the other things you're doing. That's what you need to be paying the most attention to. So here, Queen coming in, and the ability is almost available again, so I just go for my RG here. I think he missed the... Did I not play my RG here? I probably could have, honestly, because I had the Queen up, but finally I go for the RG, and that is going to be GG. So very nice win there, and I'm sorry guys if my commentary wasn't the best. Again, it's 1 a.m. right now. I'm recording this. I've been, playing, a lot today, so yeah, I'm maybe a little tired, but I still hope I gave some decent tips regardless, and, gameplay was at least entertaining for you guys to watch. But yeah, so I'm going to do my very best to get a good finish this season. As I've already mentioned in other videos, though, ladder is not the only thing I'm focused on this weekend. I have a really, really big weekend coming up. It might be my biggest weekend almost ever in Clash Royale, to be honest, because I'm competing in the Last Chance qualifier for CRL, which stands for, of course, Clash Royale League, which is the biggest competitive scene in Clash Royale, like if you guys didn't know. Like, it's a solo format this year, and I'm competing for $20,000. Basically, if I win 2 best-of-3s, I qualify to the Clash Royale World Finals, which are in December, and I get at least $20,000. And the prize pool for the World Finals is $200,000, and not even just for the prize pool. Making it to the World Finals would be insane, because I've been kind of playing competitive now the last couple of years or so, and I haven't ever made it to the World Finals. But to be fair, I've only been on, this is kind of my second CRL season only, because I only played in CRL East one time on East, and we unfortunately didn't make it to Worlds. We kind of had a new team. I personally had a decent season. I had a positive 1v1 win rate, but I was still disappointed I didn't make it to Worlds. But this hopefully can be my year, and even if I don't make it this year, I'm, obviously not going to give up, and I'm planning on playing competitive next year too, so I won't be, like, too disappointed. I mean, obviously I will be disappointed. I mean, anyone would be if they don't make it to Worlds, but I still won't give up regardless, I guess is what I'm saying. But anyway, that is going to be for the video. I hope you guys did end up enjoying it. Make sure to like it if you guys did end up enjoying it. Can we get this video to 100,000 views? That would be pretty insane, because I know it's possible. The hype for this update is real. So make sure to spread this video, help the algorithm by giving it a like. I almost never ask you guys for that, but this is a special day. We got first in the new update with the broken Archer Queen champion. Good day. I'm excited. Please subscribe, guys, and thanks again. Until next time, guys.